Hello, and welcome to Blended Agendas. Today's topic is women dating over the age of 40. Dating over 40 is not like when you were a teenager in your 20s and possibly early 30s when you could afford to be somewhat careless, impulsive, and had many years to figure out what you want in life. In your 40s, you might have been married, had children, established yourself, and is more realistic about the man you are seeking to date and possibly thinking of marriage again. While dating, don't start off looking for a husband. Start off looking for a friend that you enjoy spending time with. Don't be so desperate to be in a relationship or marry again that you'll miss all the red flags that tell you this person's not the one for you. Don't go searching for that perfect man that does not exist. Look for the perfect one that's perfect enough for you. My personal experience from those dating sites have been like a Shakespearean play, comical, historical, and tragic. I will tell you about the four not so great dates I had to endure. The first online date, I met a guy at a public park. It was a beautiful spring day. We sat on a bench and he began to tell me about every sickness he was dealing with. I suggested that he not look for a date online, but look online from a home health aide and wished him the best. The second date is when I was to meet this gentleman at a restaurant. We exchanged photos online and he told me his height and weight and what vehicle he's driving. I did the same. I pulled up to the vehicle he described, glanced at him, and he said, "You must be the lady I am to meet." Well, he took me by surprise because he looked nothing like the black and white picture he emailed me. It must have been a picture of him 20 years ago because the guy I was looking at had no hair and was much heavier than he said he was. I said to myself, I might as well make the best of this. I'll just dine with him. Maybe he'll be good company. I was still in my vehicle when he stepped out of his. I thought he stepped in a deep pothole, and I got out of my car to see if he was okay. It wasn't a deep pothole. He was just shorter than he described. He talked about his ex-girlfriend using him for his money during the whole entree. He asked if I wanted dessert, and I politely declined because I couldn't wait for this to be over. The third date was a very short encounter. We were to meet at a donut shop. Once again, we exchanged pics. I asked him to send me an updated picture, not one of him in high school. I sat there and waited for 20 minutes. Then I saw him approaching. You know, when you're in your 40s, you can sometimes tell how a man walks that it's not going to work. He came in and I was leaving. I said hello and goodbye. He apologized for being late because he said he had to go to the ATM to get money in case we wanted to go to a hotel. I looked at him if he had lost his mind and kept moving. The last not so good date from meeting someone online was at a local pub he suggested that had great food and he wanted to treat me to dinner. I pulled up alongside his car. He asked if we could talk first before going in. I said okay. It was the middle of winter and he had on summer clothes. Some of this, some of that. He had on a wool hat, scarf, and gloves, but had on shorts and sandals. I just assumed he was the first man to go through menopause and he was having hot and cold flashes. So after an hour of talking outside, I came to the realization that this man had no intentions of treating me to dinner. So I told him I was starving and leaving to get something to eat. He said, okay, nice meeting you. I thought this was the strangest so-called date I've ever been on. Later, I was checking my emails and received one from him stating that he had a very nice time with me. I was wondering if he was referring to someone else because clearly I did not share the same sentiment. Blocked and delete. Be very cautious about online dating sites. Do not give out all your personal information. Keep in mind that things they are revealing about themselves could only be what they think you are looking for and not the information about their actual life. You should approach this process as if you're interviewing for a job. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask if he's married or has ever been married. This could be the deal breaker for you if he's never been married and just wants to date. Stay away if he's married. If he cheats on his wife for you, odds are he'll cheat on you for someone else. If he's separated from his wife, leave it alone until he gets it together. He might be on dating online sites to weigh his options. Find out if he has children or even likes children. If he has young kids, he might have them on the weekends when you want to go out. Or is he still paying child support that might cause some interference if he gets serious enough to marry and it takes a bite out of his share of expenses? If you have children and he does too, observe how he treats his children. Do not, I repeat, do not introduce your small children to someone you just met or barely know. You can Google him to see if he's been arrested and for what, and or if he's a sexual predator. The first couple of meetups should be in a public place. You should have your own transportation and have your own money to cover the cost of dining, even though he says it's his treat. Always let a friend or family member know who you are meeting and where you are going. Be realistic about your expectations. We all are looking for the Idris Elba, Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, or Hugh Jackman. But realistically, dating over the age of 40 will settle for a decent man that has stability, no commitment issues, very little baggage from their previous relationship, one who communicates, fun to be with, and okay in bed. I do not claim to be a professional. This is just my personal experience and advice to avoid the pitfalls of dating over 40. Thank you for listening to Blended Agendas. Please like, comment, and subscribe.